So today is going to be a little different. I am inviting the floor, the screen, the space to engage in a dialogue about something that I don't know how to describe it. Like I didn't really do a lot of planning with this. It kind of dawned on me maybe like 4 hours ago to tackle this subject matter. What I want to do with it, what is my like my heart behind it and everything like that. The subject matter is titled Who's Spottin You. We're going to discuss the importance of knowing your tribe. And I'm going to be doing a breakdown of what lead with love means to me, why it is not only a catchphrase, but it's a code, it's a way of life for myself. So I'm just going to drop the intro real quick. Let's get it. Welcome, everybody, to the Kid Casper Podcast. I'm your gracious, beautiful, blessed, beloved, and black host, the kid they call Casper. The KID in Kid Casper stands for that king of development. I'm that menace with the melanin. Reject me as I am, as long as he is still relevant. So, Holy Spirit, guide me through this conversation. I think this is in a lot of ways, this can end up coming off as super preachy. This can end up coming off super insightful, liberating in some way, shape, or form, or it can possibly come up as convicting in some ways to some people. This can be, I don't know, describe it. Like this can come with many reactions. This is one of those like things that, and anybody that knows me, my auntie Maya, for instance, it's funny how she like hit me with a text message about something, and I immediately was like, "Oh yeah, I can relate," because like tune into the podcast tonight. What'd she say? Already starting, melanin popping respectfully. What does that even mean? I don't know. And for everybody that was wondering in the Zoom, what was on my hat? There were flowers. There was flowers. You know what I'm saying? Let me turn the white balance a little darker. There was flowers. You know what I'm saying? Like that way, because a lot of people thought that there was like aliens or animals or some other like weird stuff that I decided to wear this evening, this night and everything like that. I don't have any aminals. There's enough animals in this house. I don't really want to wear them on my clothes, to be honest with you, because I want to rock out tonight. If this is your first time tuning in today, hello, I'm the kid that they call Casper. I'm a Christian raptivist. Yes, rapper / activist. I love Jesus, but I am far from a pacifist. You know what I'm saying? That is a fire. I thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I've been feeling, it's not a snapback because as you can see, it's a strap back. It's a little different. Maya, you might be able to relate to this with dealing with migraines and everything like that. But something about a strap back, bruh. Like it eases the tension that you kind of be feeling on your brain. And I've just been feeling like wearing hats a lot lately. 2 reasons. 1, I don't feel like doing my hair today, to be completely honest. And 2, I mean, I look good in them. I mean, I think so. If you don't think so, I mean, like, go somewhere else then. I don't really appreciate your company if you don't like what I look like, but that's fine. This is my podcast. If you want to watch something with questionable fashion taste, I don't think you should come here. We drip in melanin, in wisdom, in fashion sense, and comic relief from time to time. Oh yeah, and we're very fluent in sarcasm. So that's pretty much it. GhostThreads.com. That's how we pay the bills around here. Brought to you live on the Tetelestai Incorporated Network. You know what I'm saying? Where the black sheep are welcome. Of all walks of life. It doesn't matter what your nationality, what your creed is, how you identify yourself, even your religion. This is where the black sheep are welcome. And what do we got if we don't got love? You heard me. So But yeah, and Alana, you really don't got a big head. I mean, I wouldn't say you have a big head, but then again, I only look at you through a phone screen. I think I have a big head. I look like Cashew off of the Proud Family if I decided to go bald. That's why I'm wearing a hat. Not that I'm bald, everybody, as you can see that my hair is tied up in the back, but yeah. So first off, I just wanted to kind of do a temperature check because I always do this. And there was a couple people that said that they wanted to join in with me on this conversation. They might join in later. That's fine. And if anybody feels compelled, the link is pinged up in the comment section. It should be pinged up in the top of the YouTube comment section, if I'm not mistaken. And what did I say? You don't have a big head. That's what I'm saying. I have a big head. Like, what are you talking about? See, they already trying to get me in trouble. Like, we supposed to, black woman, I am not your enemy. You understand me? I'm trying to tell you that I have a big head. You know what I'm saying? That the way that orbit works around my cranium, you know what I'm saying? It hits a little different than everybody else. That's besides the point. But yeah, doing the temperature check. How's everybody doing? We're doing mental wellness. So 1 to 10, 1 being, you know what I'm saying? Like 1 could be like, and I say 1 because you're alive. 0 means you're dead, meaning you're just numb and you don't feel anything. So you could be dead inside. 1 being it could be better. And then there's 10 where you just feel like you're walking on water and you could turn Dasani bottles into wine. I mean, like, that's pretty lit. God bless you for being able to reach that threshold in your life. But yeah. So everybody kind of let me know how they're feeling in the comment section. Okay, I see Aunt Tamisha just showed up. How you doing, Auntie? I feel like I've been talking to you all day. You know what I'm saying? As we've just been in, as I like to call it, I like to say quinania. You know, I call it my quinania with the kid sessions where we just kind of engage and talk about everything and nothing at the same time. So yeah, everybody watching tonight, let me know how you guys are doing, how you guys are feeling. If you have any prayer requests, most part as far as following goes, you guys can tell me personally. If you feel compelled as far as prayer requests and you feel led to share it in the comment section, share it in the comment section. If you have any praise reports, meaning like something in which something good happened, I want you to share that as well. We don't only like to lament in the losses, but we like to celebrate the wins and the wonders. So yeah. But yeah, okay, we got a 3.5. All right, that's honest. How's everybody else doing? Auntie, we're doing mental health check-ins. So I'm starting off at 1 because 0 basically means you're dead. And 10 being you walking on water, you're turning Dasani bottles into wine, essentially. So yeah. But yeah, let me know how you guys are feeling today. Before I kind of like get started, I'll wait for people to like semi-pollen and everything like that. I had to get my dog situated, the doggies situated. They were kind of running around causing a ruckus, being menaces to society and everything like that. Oh, Casper, that's so mean. Don't talk about the dogs like that. I will talk about the dogs like that because they're awful. But yeah. Okay. All right, Auntie, 6. I'll take that. Hey, D's get degrees. I ain't mad at you. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm at, I would say like I'm at a 4. I would say I'm at a 4. Honestly, respectfully, I would say I'm at a 4. And I think it's because I'm at a 4 for the stuff I am worrying about, but I think I am on a 8 as far as things I have surrendered. You know what I'm saying? That could mean a lot of different things for a lot of different people. That's completely besides the point. But yeah. Let's see. And I just got a text message. Hey, can I come on the podcast? This is family time. We just in here talking and everything like that. So yeah, guys, the reason I decided to come back today, I didn't really do a lot of promo with this conversation. I kind of just felt compelled to share this. Mainly because it was something that God showed me. And okay, 1 point. That's honest. I mean, I appreciate the honesty. I mean, shoot. I feel like when you are even able to recognize where you are at mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you have it. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a good sign. Self-awareness and emotional intelligence is definitely where anybody would want to be. But yeah, that's I get that. So, and I'm always getting nervous when it comes to like these podcasts that like I never necessarily think out or plan out. And I just allow God to kind of like spill into me, and then I'm gonna spill my guts out on the interweb, and hopefully everybody receives it well. I don't really care if I offend anybody necessarily, but if I offend you, it's because of something I said. If I'm out of pocket, then I'll be out of pocket. But I'm gonna take responsibility for everything I say, opposed to me saying, "Oh, well, God told me to tell y'all." Like, nah, we're not gonna do that. So yeah. So anyway, I would like to share something as far as insight goes, and it goes with this this word I heard at this new church I just started attending, Union Church. We have like 3 different campuses in the state of Maryland. There's one in Columbia, there's one in Baltimore County, and then there's one in BWI, which is like our airport essentially. But I I was sitting there listening to the service. They had this thing called revival, essentially. This thing called Catalyst, which is like their revival. And the service in which that they had, there was a word in which that Pastor Stephen, shout out to Pastor Stephen Chandler. We don't really know each other all that well. I just started going. I'm in that weird stage, as everybody knows, adjusting to being back in institutions, adjusting to, in a lot of ways, adjusting to being around people, adjusting to being back in institutions in which that, were, in the design, if we're talking about the days of the book of Acts, if we're talking about when the the Pentecostal, what I'm saying, where we talk about what it means to be the church, I've kind of taken a year off in a sense, in a year of deconstructing my faith, basically taking things off of my faith that don't need to be there, in a year of healing from trauma, whether it was by me being doxxed, threatened, and all this other stuff last year, with hitting the streets with activism, with dealing with my church hurt, my church trauma, essentially losing all of these people that I once called family. And for me, it's been super, super hard to it's been super, super hard on my part, because I know this is my efforts and this is my I would say like my pain in a sense. I don't really know how, when I keep saying that, I don't really know how this is going to go. I don't really know how this is going to be received, but this is just a direction in which God um has compelled me to kind of share. And it might just end up me talking to myself, or talking just simply about myself, and this doesn't hit or resonate for anybody else. But I felt that I needed to share this, because if this doesn't necessarily even become insightful for you, maybe this becomes insightful for other people to kind of understand who I am. I've been doing this thing where I just teach out of my pain. I teach out of my my lessons. I lament with my lessons out loud, and in public, what I'm saying, because my public witness, sometimes with what I do, as far as in this season of my life in isolation, it's kind of hard to witness to people because you are away from people and such. So yeah, there's that part. So yeah, at Catalyst on last Friday, Pastor Stephen Chandler shared something very brief, and he didn't even really stay here too much. He was talking about, in which a lot of us feel like, when we're talking about like imposter syndrome, a lot of us are stepping into a new season in our life that we feel like we're not qualified to be in some of these places, because of what we've been through, maybe because of what we have done, maybe because of what people have done onto us. We think that we are not qualified for certain things. That's speaking for anybody on the internet, or anybody that's gonna be watching the playback on this. I myself, with what I've been through, I was alcoholic by 10 years old. It completely, I would say, like, shaped my life in a sense. It completely changed in which how I carry myself. In a lot of ways, with me coping with alcoholism, no, not coping with alcoholism. I wasn't coping with alcoholism. Alcoholism was my way of coping. But me leaning into alcoholism in that season of my life was to cope with trauma in which I was dealing with, my own mental illnesses and mental turbulence in which that I was going through by some of the things that I, experienced in my life and seen in my life. It had made me the worst version of myself. I said some hurtful things to people. I tell people all the time, like, man, if you would have knew me before Jesus, you would either praise Jesus a lot more, or you would almost assume he's not actually real. So these dogs are about to be the death of me. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Stop it. Doggone dogs. Lily, go lay down. I'm gonna have to edit that out. Doggone dogs. Cut it out. But go lay down. Go lay down. These dogs. Y'all pray for me. Doggone it. Y'all pray for me. Understand me. But I've lost my train of thought. Oh, but when we're talking about in the case of with me, I was saying, like, if y'all would have knew me before Jesus, y'all would either praise Jesus because of the work he's done in my life, or you would probably question his works in a sense. You would think to yourself, why would God use that? I say that because sometimes we tend to look at what we have done or been through in our life, and we tend to otherize ourselves. I'm talking about as individuals. Sometimes, even for me, I look at what I've been through and what I've done. I think to myself, oh man, why would God use this? You know what I'm saying? Why would God use that person? And we do that to other people. We think because of what we've been through may not be as nasty as what other people have been through. There's a hierarchy put in place, man-made, obviously, and obviously we are flawed in itself. So who are we to say that one is better than another? That's all I'm going to say about the judgment aspect. But if we're talking about when God brings us into these new places, these new seasons, these new promotions and everything in our life, we tend to, how do I say this? We tend to think to ourselves and end up, as Queen Maya said, we will disqualify and alienate ourselves and others. And sometimes when there comes a time when we are supposed to step into something, we will disqualify ourselves from an opportunity in which God is trying to use us to qualify us. Like, we're called, you know what I'm saying? God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. You know what I'm saying? And I think, like, with this, sometimes when we step into these new places in our life, whether it's a new job, and you probably lost 1,000 jobs. I don't know if you lost 1,000 jobs. I actually don't know anybody that's worked 1,000 jobs. Say if you're about to step into this new relationship in your life, you are not good. You probably have been through some really toxic and bad platonic and romantic relationships that makes you like, I don't want nothing to do with this. I don't think I'm qualified to be in said relationships. You name it. You know what I'm saying? And it's not really any of our business. And when I say this, it's not really any of our business what God decides to do in his plan. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I discussed all this earlier, and if anybody's been tracking and following me over, I would say since January of season 2, then you would know, for instance, that how do I put this? Then you would know that, like, I just have trust issues. I just do. Me walking away from my old church after it took me so much time to settle into this new church, this old church, I essentially just gave up on evangelical spaces in general. Because of how I've had people, and why I'm bad at this in a sense, because I've had people that have, always complimented me and said all these great things about me and all this other stuff, but then turn around and the same name that they would be giving flowers to, they would use dirt to throw on my name and everything like that. I have trust issues. I just do. And it was funny, and I didn't share this with Divinity. I shared this with my sisters in the sister chat. I don't know why I didn't share it to my community group, but I shared it with the sister chat. But I shared it to the why I shared it to the sister chat and not Divinity, but I did. So one of the things that Pastor Chandler was saying was, you gotta think of this new season in your life. Think of this new season in your life like you're working out. You're working out muscles. You know what I'm saying? You got to always stay in shape. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter how much. We'll take muscles, and I pulled my sleeve down because I'm skinny and there's a lot of turbulence in my shirt. So this isn't this is a lot of room. This is room for growth. You know what I'm saying? But for myself, these muscles can only carry a certain amount of weight that the actual like muscle capacity can handle. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't matter how big my muscles are or how little my muscles are. If I am not in condition or in shape, shut up, Maya. Maya laughing in the comment section. Hey man, we just gonna, I want everybody to be relaxed. You know what I'm saying? I felt like it was being a little too serious. So me pulling on my sleeve to show y'all how I am from the state of tornadoes and how turbulence works in my arm sleeves make me a little bit more palatable and relatable to the people. So leave me alone, Maya. But it doesn't matter how often or how much you've worked out before. If you are not in shape, it doesn't matter what your muscles look like. It doesn't matter what people, y'all, hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm just gonna keep it a beanie with y'all. Air me. But it doesn't matter how much muscles you have, how much time it took for you to gain those muscles. If you are not in shape, you know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna be able to bust it out. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. You can be bulky and lack endurance. You can have all this mileage on your car, but lack drive. You know what I'm saying? There's all these things in which that just because something comes with time and duration and work does not mean that it is always going to work if you don't work it, if you do not work it out. Just like our faith, for those that proclaim the name of Jesus, if we are not constantly working our faith out, then our faith is not going to work out. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to this, for you to not only be able to push the weight in which you have to stay in shape. So I'm not trying to get so much too preachy on and say, oh, if you want to come, beat like these certain illnesses, or if you want to how do I say this? If you want to get this new job or do that, it's not necessarily that, but it's more so, are you in shape? You know what I'm saying? For me, it has been super hard for me to, and if everybody has met me over the last couple of months, because my roster has changed dramatically. If anybody has met me over the last couple of months, I'm not really, it is literally, I don't know why it is. It's like physically exhausting to be around people. I've spent a lot of time alone. I really took advantage of that time that like Elijah got alone in a cave, and sit and like postured himself to where he can hear a whisper from God. And I spent little to absolutely no time talking to people. Like I'm just gonna keep it a $150 with you. I'm so much easier at this. This is fine for me. When I'm doing Zooms, I do Zooms with people all over the internet. People that are in divinity and sister chat. I got people on my Patreon community that I mentor and stuff like that. I got people that I father in a sense. I got people, grown men and women that that reach out to me. I got siblings all over from my, I say siblings for my non-binary folk. I have siblings all over the world that I got no problem doing this for. But being in a room with folk is like, bro, I burn calories being around people. That's exhausting to me. That's almost like a sensory overload for me at this new church because there's people everywhere. You know what I'm saying? There's just people everywhere, and that can come off as, word I want to use is intimidating or frightening in a sense. But none of that matters. None of that matters if you don't work it out. You know what I'm saying? I will never be able to, getting back to like exercise and look at my skin. I go to the gym, mind you. It's just really hard for me to gain weight just from food. But I work out, right? You're gonna need to take, it takes a certain amount of force to push a 10. You know what I'm saying? It takes a certain amount of force to push a 15 and a 20. If you're on bench, it takes a certain amount of force to push a 10, 2 10s, a 25, a 25 and a 10, and then a 45, and then so on and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? And then, but if you do not stay in shape, meaning like if you take like a break and you don't work out for like, I don't know, a couple of months or weeks, you know what I'm saying? That momentum in which you had before you took that break or that hiatus, it's going to be a little difficult to get back into routine, get back into shape. That's why, you know, for you if you want things to work, you got to work it out because you always have to stay in shape. And sometimes we think and you can apply this to anything. You can think, oh, well, I built 13 years of history with this person. But if you're not constantly refining that, if you're not constantly refining that, if you're not constantly refining that, and if you're not constantly refining that and shaping that and working on that and nurturing that, and feeding that, and filing that, and, you know, and I say deconstructing, not for people, not, this applies to people that aren't Christian too, but if you're taking things out of your relationships platonically or romantically that are not supposed to be there, back up. If you're not deconstructing things that are not supposed to be there, some things it can end up growing into things that's not supposed to stay there. And oh, see, my sister knows the body. Detraining, that's what she's saying. Detraining, you can lose gains in about 2 weeks of non-activity. And I feel like when I talk about like emotional intelligence, mental health, and we talk about mental stability, mental wellness, and all these things, that same thing happens to our brains. And that comes to where we want to be in a place of vulnerability and sensitivity to other people and everything like that. It's essentially all in the same. And then I didn't want to spend too much time on that, so that's why I wanted to just kind of run through all that. But the thing that I really wanted to touch on before I come back to like this portion, so I'm taking a break on the tribes part of the conversation, and we're talking about who's spotting you. You know what I'm saying? What Pastor Stephen said was, you know, it's not good for man to be alone. It's just not. Man or woman. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's excluded. Man, woman, person, child of God, people, human. It's not good for humans to be alone. You know what I'm saying? It's just not. We're not bears. We don't get to just grab all these tangible items and we can be okay. You know what I'm saying? And just dip in the cave, whatever your cave is, your car, your job, activities, music, all these things. It's not good for man to be alone. And when I say man, I mean man and woman, and everybody. It's not good for anybody to be alone. So one of the things he was saying is, you don't work out alone. You probably shouldn't, especially if you're not used to working out. You know what I'm saying? When you're working out in certain stages in your life, there comes a time where you're going to need somebody to help guide that weight. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're like, for instance, if I'm doing like bench, when I'm doing bench, right? I like, for instance, I'll have like my homeboy Dixon. I've had a couple of different people, and you know what I'm saying? I'm pushing up, and sometimes like the weight itself is a little too hard. Maya says the spotter serves as a help to bear the weight if needed, and is designed and motivated to encourage you beyond what you could achieve alone in a safe context. Exactly. Sometimes when you are in a new field, especially of unfamiliarity, you need a spotter. You do. You just do. You can't even start a job without having somebody spot you. You had to go through some type of orientation process. Hell, when you went to school for that job, you had to be educated by somebody. It's a spotter position. You know what I'm saying? You got people that are saying, this is the lane you need to go to. These are the books you need to read. This is the information you need to hit. And this is the score you need to hit for you to get a degree to get to this. So it's the routine. It's a routine you have to master. It's the mechanics you have to go through to get to this. It's the threshold in which that you need to reach to pass. And you have to execute those to excel. You know what I'm saying? But you need a spotter. You know what I'm saying? So when Pastor Stephen was saying that you need somebody to guide, you need somebody to like spot you. And he didn't say all this, but this is what I got out of it. So I'm just kind of building off of like what he was saying, that man is not supposed to be alone. Something I got out of it when I was with everything I've been going through. Y'all know, if you're been following me for a while now, or if you just now getting started, and I talk about this a lot frequently because it's something that I think is important in this season and time while we're all still going through a pandemic. You know what I'm saying? You need a spotter. But sometimes you need to recognize who is spotting you is almost, I'll say it like this. Who is spotting you can mean life or death for you. Hear me out when I say this. So when you're working out, for instance, I'm working bench. I just showed y'all my arm sleeve. You know what I'm saying? I just showed y'all my arm sleeve. I did not grow up working out, bro. I didn't. Dang, I make beats, bro. Like I rap for Jesus. I make beats. I got pretty cool hair. I make clothes. I love tacos. I don't work out. I do not. When I say I don't work out, that's not what I am known for. You know what I'm saying? But I want to add some muscle mass, and I want to take some of the air out of my sleeves. You hear me? But who is spotting me can mean life or death for me, and can either hinder or halt or expedite your growth. You know what I'm saying? Track with me for a second. All right. If you're tracking with me, drop a black heart in the comment section. Like this video if you haven't liked it already. And like I said, if you'd like to join in on this conversation, the link is pinged up in the comment section. It should be pinged up in the YouTube. For Facebook, same thing. Twitch, I think you should just be able to find it in there. I'm not sure. But if you guys are tracking with me, drop a black heart in the comment section. Let me know if you're still tracking. If you're tracking, I can carry on. As long as I get one person, you know what I'm saying? I can be here talking to one person. Okay, cool. Black Girl Warriors, tracking with me. no, Auntie Maya's like holding onto her phone and kind of mad that I paused and hit that dramatic Pentecostal pause. You know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. I got 3. I'll take them 3 and I'll carry on. I'll carry on. I'll carry on. Yeah. So I'll take it back a little bit for me. Catch people up that are new to me, for instance. If you're tuning in for the first time today, hello. My name is Kid Casper. I'm a Christian raptivist. Yes, rapper / activist. I love Jesus, far from a pacifist. I didn't become an activist until she said ready to throw. When I say an activist, I did not realize that this was my calling until last year. I did activism on the side. I never when I say I did activism on the side, I never protested. Like I didn't hit the streets when I say I did, raising awareness for petitions. I do this, that, and the third. I was, I was learning, educating, and edifying people. That's what I did. I work with it. I work in one of the freedom fighters for the End It movement, which is, it's an organization and their sole cause is to put an end to human trafficking and sex slavery. That's what I did. I did not, and that's human rights too, but I did not go to the scale in which that I did last year, where God used me to pretty much be one of the leaders within my state. I grew up essentially in this church that I went to. I started in this church that I was attending before I started going to Union. I started going there at 19 years old. I came home at 19 and I was there from 19 to 26. I got saved in September of 2013. I started going to, when did I start going to Riverside? Oop, I just said my church out loud, my old church out loud. I don't care. I started going to Riverside, my old church, in June. I think it was June. Yeah, June of 2013. And I left July of 2020. You know what I'm saying? I started going in June of 2013. I got saved in September 2013. And I got baptized, I want to say August of 2014. I celebrated many years of sobriety. You know what I'm saying? I've been sober since April 20th. Yes, my sobriety date of alcohol, not marijuana. I've never smoked weed before, to be continued. But I've been sober from alcohol since April 20th, 2012. I'm going to be 10 years sober next year. I've celebrated many years. That means I started going there at 19. So I celebrated 2 years of sobriety in there, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years. How am I going to say this gracefully? I was growing in my faith. I was growing as a disciple of Christ. I was growing in my blackness. I was growing as a man. I was growing as an individual, as a person. I was growing. I'm on that bench, bro. I'm pumping these weights out, bro. I'm busting these things out, dog. And I realized that I wouldn't be able to gauge the weight correct. I wasn't able to push the weight correctly. I didn't have a sense of control with my weight because somebody who was spotting me, hope y'all tracking, somebody who was spotting me was holding my weights down. Now, mind you, they're not supposed to lift the weight for you, but they're definitely not supposed to be holding the weight still, where movement is not happening. You know what I'm saying? I realized that though I started off in 10s on bench in this case, and I got to like say 55. I got to 55 on each side. My spotter was willfully unequipped to spot me. If you are, especially bench, you working on bench, bruh. I had a bird chest. That thing, though it's supposed to touch your chest, that thing, if it comes at such a velocity without control or force, it can collapse you, maybe even decapitate you. You know what I'm saying? I recognize that. I recognize for me, I'm putting in more work trying to fight my spotter. You know what I'm saying? I'm fighting, I'm putting in more force trying to fight my spotter to push this weight. Then I shouldn't have had him been working that hard. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't have been that hard to push that weight. It shouldn't have been that hard to push that weight. Because the spotter is simply supposed to just guide. You know, they almost just do it right like alongside with you. They're not really, you know, if needed be, if they notice that thing is like, if they notice that thing is falling on you, but they're supposed to just, you know, keep it, you know what I'm saying? Just make sure that thing it shouldn't. So what I had to do, I had to acknowledge that my spotter was holding my weight down. And I was burning myself out. I was getting more exhausted trying to push a weight because the weight should have been a lot easier to push. Had my spotter just gone the way that it should have gone. But that's not my fault that my spotter did that. You know what I'm saying? It's not my fault that my spotter did that. Help your balance. It's a safety measure. You know what I'm saying? People that you bring into your life, whether you want to realize it or not, everybody you welcome into your life is leading you in some way, shape, or form. Even babies. My niece Lyric, even she is leading me because she is teaching me her love language. She is. There's some things that my niece likes that other babies don't like. And there's some things that other babies like that my niece don't like. You know what I'm saying? But I have to follow her lead. She's my spotter in the ways of Lyric. Is my niece's name. Everybody who you welcome into your life is leading you in some way, shape, or form. There's something that they are giving you. There's something that they're helping you guide. You know what I'm saying? There's something that they're helping add some sense of direction. You know what I'm saying? Everybody you bring into your life is a spotter. Everybody. Literally everybody. You think about it. Anybody, manager, college professor, mom and dad, you know what I'm saying? Your friends, the family that you pick, you know what I'm saying? Blood is not biological, it's chemical. You understand me? Like everybody you have in your life is a spotter. Another thing that happened last summer to me is when I was hitting the streets. I shared this publicly beginning of this year, and I shared it again recently when I gave the podcast titled Why I Cut My Hair. So I'm not a perfect person. You know what I'm saying? I'm far from perfect by any means. I was an alcoholic by 10. I mentioned that before. I was an alcoholic by 10. My alcoholism put me in predicaments and positions trying to cope with trauma in which I end up bleeding on people that didn't cut me. You know what I'm saying? And this isn't me trying to like gain sympathy or anything by any means, because this is me. I want you to kind of understand where I'm coming from, to draw the analogy into all of this, and hopefully that this is liberating for somebody. For me, my alcoholism made me the worst version of myself. The worst version of myself caused me to say things to people I should have never said, do things to people I never should have done, and bleed on people that didn't cut me. You know what I'm saying? I've had to do time before. I've said that publicly. I'm like, look, I'll go. Yeah, I tell people, look, I lead with love, but I'll go back. I'll go into full-time prison ministry. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been through it. You know what I'm saying? I've been through it. Christ, been sober ever since. Christ restores, reconciles, and rectifies and reforms. You know what I'm saying? So praise God for that. I'll maybe 10 years sober next year. You know what I'm saying? So y'all gonna have to fly out. I don't know where. Somebody's gonna have to fly me out for my sobriety date next year. I don't know. April 20th. Y'all can cheat and chong if y'all want to, but we're gonna have to party next year. I don't know. Anyway, but let me get to my point. So last year, right? When I'm hitting the streets, everybody is they love who I am out in the streets. You know what I'm saying? People love who I am. They love what I do on here. You know what I'm saying? My podcast. People love this. People are like in awe of me. I don't like it. I've never been good at accepting compliments and my flowers and everything. Not Casper trying to get flued out. I mean, like, if you want me to come and see you, either you fly me out, sign up for my Patreon, buy my merch, or send me money on my Cash App on screen. You heard me. What you talking about, boy? But yeah, dog. There was an instance last year where I had gotten doxxed, right? I shared this before a couple of times. And not only had I gotten doxxed, it had become very dangerous. It had become very dangerous. And it still is. I mean, I shared it. What was it? Last week on the I Don't Owe the Rights to This Blackness podcast. It had gotten very dangerous to be associated with me. People are actively trying to kill me because of the work I do. I'm okay with that. When I say I'm okay with that, I am okay with the fact that as long as I am serving God, I don't care what anybody else tries to say to me, about me, or to me, because I didn't really care. I'm just going to keep it a beanie. I didn't even seem to care. Well, not seem. I didn't care when I wasn't living for God. So why am I going to start caring what people got to say about me now that I live for him and have been living for him actively for the last, when did I get saved? 2013? For the last, can't do math today, 8 years of my life. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't fall for everybody else. I was busting out these weights because I'll credit to not only because of my own strength and what God has put in me and what God has conditioned me with. I'm going to keep pulling on my skinny arm. You know what I'm saying? But some people in my life, I'll say in my circle, because there is a huge difference between people that are in your circle and are in your corner. Hear me out. There's a huge difference between people that want to talk to you and be around you, and then there's a huge difference between people that are in your corner and are wiping the blood off of you, treating your cuts, are ready to throw in the towel for you if they think that you might even die. There is a huge difference between people in your circle and in your corner. People that are on your phone plan, you might not like, but people that are in your corner, bruh, They might not even be able to afford to be on the phone playing with you. But bruh, if you need something, the people in your corner will ride hard for you, and they're required to do a certain amount of work that is not required of people to do what they are in your circle can do. Who's spotting you? You know what I'm saying? There is a difference between people that are spotting you. There are people that are spotting you that are in your corner. And then there are people that are spotting you that are in your circle. They see you. But they don't have to treat certain cuts and everything like that. There is a huge difference. Who's spotting you? I'm gonna keep asking this question, and there's a question that you want to almost examine in a sense, because, and this isn't try to be like shallow and try to tell people, oh, you should really actually no, check who you got around you. What are you talking about? I rebuke my own self. You need to check who is around you and recognize and realize what people are capable of, and what, not so much what do they bring to the table, but how are they directing you in your life? You know what I'm saying? This isn't a Jesus, this isn't a saved versus unsaved thing. This is just a who is spotting you. Because like I said, your college professor, your parents, you know, some of us have parents that were supposed to be spotting us and drop the weight. Let's just keep it a beanie. You know what I'm saying? Just because somebody was supposed to spot you don't mean that they spotted you well. Okay, like let's work on lamenting that and reconciling that. But let's just be real around here. That's why I said that family isn't biological, it's chemical. It is is people who you have divinity, intimacy, as Auntie Maya, my sister, says, relational equity with. There are people in which that I used to not only hit the streets with, that I grew up with, especially since I took this stance and I realized what came with this stance, that could not handle the weight. I was the one on the bench. I was the one on the bench. I am the one on the bench. You know what I'm saying? When doing this work. I got 10,000, I think 10,000. I got 10,000 followers on TikTok. Probably only 20. And I think even that's a stretch. Probably only 20 of them I allow to have access to me. 20. Probably 20 people on out of like all my social media followers. So I think altogether, I think 11,000 people that follow me. I think only 20 of them I allow access to me. And out of that 20, and it fluctuates because everybody has their own stuff going on. Out of that 20, the 20 that I have, I would say, are in my circle. But out of the 20 is in my corner. You know what I'm saying? Some people love talking to me because of what I do in my content, but how many people are directing me in certain ways? You know what I'm saying? There's a huge difference between people that are in your circle and that are in your corner who is spotting you. You know what I'm saying? Some people are okay with you being on the bench and putting in the work, and you're once again, you're the one that is they say no pain, no gain. You're the one that is getting sore to get swole. You're the one that has got to put reps in to get you know what I'm saying? You're the one that's being repetition with the reps. You know what I'm saying? You're the one that has to bust these things out, burn the calories in which that you can grow. You know what I'm saying? You're the one that got to do this. But you need somebody that's spotting you. What am I saying? Some of us got people who are spotting us. You know what I'm saying? On the bench. People that are, when I say spot, people are leading us. We have certain people that are leading us that are not supposed to be spotting us. We got people that are in our circle that are not supposed to be in our corner, because when it was time for them to be in our corner, they showed not only did they not deserve to be in the corner, they probably didn't even deserve to be in your circle. So what ends up happening? Is that you'll end up with, you're on bench, you realize that they can't handle the weight because of two reasons. One, I'm gonna lead as graceful as I can when I say this. Some people when I talk about this part, Some people can't handle the weight by conditioning or by choice. Some people, and I'm just gonna keep it a beam with you. There's some people that you got spotting you, and they know good and damn well before they signed up to spot you, they could not even guide that weight that you supposed to be burnt. You're the one that's tearing muscle for. They have even did their work just so they can spot you. You know what I'm saying? Me and Maya always talk about this. You got to have some type of relational equity. You have to have some type of experience. You have to have some type of intellect, something in which that is conditions you to help somebody in their life, to help direct and lead somebody in their life. You have to. I'm telling you, bruh, go to the gym with somebody. Don't do it. Don't do it. It'll be bad. And you know what? I'm not in a place where I can walk up to your casket and go, get up. Get up. Your mama's crying. I'm tired of hearing her cry. You heard me? Like I'm not in that place. But hear me out when I say, like, there are a lot of people. What does it say? You got malnourished people spotting people who are trying to get healthy. Yeah, that part. We got people that are, when I say they're not conditioned, that's why when I drew that scenario earlier, if you don't got, you know what I'm saying? If you're not in shape, I mean, for real, the muscles are cool, but bruh, you don't even have, you know what I'm saying? And we're not just talking about exercising. I want people to draw the parallel over here. You got people that have been in your life for 13 years, but have the emotional intelligence of a 1-year-old. And they are just not equipped to help guide certain weights for you. I have bipolar disorder. I'm not saying everybody needs to be a therapist to be in my life, but bruh, there's some stuff that you say to me because of what I already deal with or what I've been through. There's some stuff that you may say to me, about me, around me, that I'm going to be like, what? Hell no. No. Because you know what happens? You get the wrong person that spots you, you can get decapitated. You could have somebody that's speaking into your life right now. You know what I'm saying? You can have somebody that's speaking to your life right now, and you may not even know it. Or you just they haven't been tested. They haven't had the opportunity yet to spot you. But there's somebody in your life right now that when it gets time to spot them, you're going to find out, what the hell was I thinking for so long by thinking that they can spot me in this field? You know, you gotta categorize everybody. That's why I say that there's a difference between people in your circle and in your corner. There's some people that you're friends with at work that you won't hang out with outside of work. There's some people that you hang out with outside of work that you can't even assimilate to that behavior in work. There are people within your family that you will never be allowed to have around your friends. You don't want around your friends. And there are people that are in your friends that you will not bring home to your family. You know what I'm saying? There's a moment where it comes up where you're just like, you can't spot me in this area. You can't. Nah, I don't think I'm gonna invite you to the family cookout. You're kind of a creep. Nah, I can't let my friends around you. You're problematic, mom and dad, or brother and sister, or cousin, or auntie and uncle. You can't handle the weight of these people. So what ends up happening? What ends up happening? Huh? when you realize that sometimes what you'll end up doing, and I'm talking for myself right now. Sometimes what will end up happening, what I've done is I've recognized when people where I'm like, oh crap, yo, are you even what are you doing? Are you pushing this thing down? Are you doing anything? Whoa, did you leave? Did you leave? What the hell are you talking about? I thought you signed up for this. Sometimes people will come into your life and thinking and say, I'm down for anything. I'm a ride or die. And then, bro, it get a little bit hot and you find out how icy they really was. But you thought that relationship was really something. Who's spotting you? You know what I'm saying? I've had that. I've had people. I recognize that I don't trust with certain weight in my life. I don't trust you to spot me in certain areas in my life. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually. My spirit bleeds into everything. You know what I'm saying? My spirit bleeds into my mental health. I mean, literally everything. There's some people you can't afford to spot you. You can't. You know what I'm saying? You just can't. Because what happens? If you don't have a good spotter, you'll never really be able to test yourself. Hear me out. You'll never really be able to test yourself when we're talking about people that like you need a spotter. You do. If you want to go up and wait, don't just pick this up. Don't do it, bro. I don't recommend it. You can't don't just pick the weight up, B. Don't do it. Don't do it. You might hurt yourself in some cases. And when I say like don't just pick it up by yourself, don't just walk through life by yourself because everybody needs somebody. It don't gotta be romantically because there's asexuality in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? So let's not hit you with that. Oh, you gotta find a girlfriend now after listening to this podcast. No, some of y'all are creeps and not equipped to be boyfriends or girlfriends. Let's just keep it a beanie right here. That's the last palm tree I'm throwing at 9:51 Eastern Standard Time. But you know what I'm saying? Like you really like you need that. Everybody needs somebody. So what ends up happening? You're gonna keep trying to work out. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, like you can get far, but at some point, everybody got that weight. Everybody got that weight, B. Everybody. It happens. It happens. That don't make you weak. It's just, hey, need some guidance, need some direction, need some support. You know what I'm saying? Everybody. This whole like, oh, I'm better off alone. I don't need anybody. I don't need anybody. What the hell I need anybody for? Cool. Why do you have an Instagram account of 10,000 followers for if you don't need anybody? Huh? Who the hell? Like, why do you have? Like, why do you like? Come on, beloved. Like, let me get low with y'all real quick. Like, why do you need what you need all this support on the internet for? If you like, why are you even watching this podcast? You don't need me, nigga. Like, I'm serious. Like, why are you? Who are you trying to impress or prove to that you don't need anybody? I told you I wasn't going to throw any more palm trees at 9:51. It's 9:53 Eastern Standard Time. Yeah. Bro, I guarantee it. And I mean, in every sense, bro, I guarantee you cannot, I guarantee you nothing. How you gonna know how to be a good, like, say, like, I mean, like, for real, how do you learn how to be a good friend to somebody if you ain't never been around people? if you haven't dealt with like some undealt with trauma, like for myself, like, I had to start going to therapy. I had to stop drinking. I had to do these things. I had to change things up. There was a point where somebody else needed to step in with the new regiment so I can grow as a person. You know what I'm saying? You also have people that talk like an expert or flex, but their knowledge and capabilities are hollow. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And that happens because there comes that time when you have somebody, it's time for them to, it's like, okay, you ready to spot me? I've seen it. I've had people. And I felt kind of cool for 1 second because I was like, damn, I thought I would be in that position. But in actuality, it was you. You know what I'm saying? It happens like that. Yeah, it'd be like that. You heard me. But you need it. You do. For growth to happen, like you need somebody spot you, to guide you, to direct you. You have to. You have to. Believers, I'm talking to disciples real quick. I got on y'all yesterday. Disciples, you're following, like we have a sky daddy named God. We have a man that was born in Palestine named Jesus. And we have the Holy Spirit. We got a spotter. You know what I'm saying? But the Bible also called us to have people. Even Jesus had spotters. Jesus wasn't even supposed to be alone. Jesus had 12. Many followers. He had many people in the circle, but he had 12 in his corner. And 3 who he was like, I know who will definitely come in. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, my boy Ty just dropped in. I'm gonna ask him while I'm looking at him on the monitors. Was you listening on YouTube player? Is that why you decided to hop in on this? You said, please don't say Sky Daddy anymore. Hey, because for those that don't believe in Jesus, they say Sky Daddy. We got an invisible Sky Daddy. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, I got my brother, my business partner, Good News Tyler is jumping in. Hey, bro, were you listening to the convo online, dog?
Nah, I had kind of a crazy busy day today, so I was taking care of some other stuff.
All right, well, you in for a treat, dog. Where I'm talking about the importance of needing a spotter. Talking about like when you grow through life and everything like that, you need somebody that is supposed to be guiding you and helping you. You're supposed to like have somebody when you go to the gym, for instance. There's somebody that needs to spot you when you're doing certain exercises and everything like that. Like when you're doing bench, you have to have somebody that's, adding a little bit of direction to your life and everything like that. So when we're talking about having a spotter, I'm talking about how man is not supposed to be alone. You know what I'm saying? Similar to like when you and me met each other. It was right around time that I was transitioning out of a church. You were slowly getting to that place too.
Yeah.
You can speak to that a little bit, brother. Talk a little bit about when we're speaking about like even in the sense of just community, why man is not supposed to be alone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So from my own experience, and I could just talk from my own experience, we're not supposed to be lonely. We're not supposed to be alone. God didn't create us to be, away from community. God created community for a specific purpose. And I think it's really dangerous when we isolate ourselves because from my experience as someone that's gone through depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, things like that, when I've been alone, my thoughts get to me. And having community has helped me immensely to realize that people can really help me, and I've had trust issues in the past, from people who have turned on me, backstabbed me, talked behind my back, smiled in my face, but are saying like some of the worst things behind my back. I've gone through all that, and it's caused trust issues. It's caused me not to want to be close to people. But what I learned is not everybody is going to treat you that way. And I think a lot of times when we hear certain people say, "Oh, I'm done with dating because all I've dated is people who have cheated on me," well, to put everyone in a box is not fair. It's really not, because there are genuine good people out here that are going to treat you right. Just because you've had a lot of people who have treated you wrong or said one thing and done another doesn't mean everyone's going to do that to you. So that's what I try to tell people. That's what I've discovered in my time, just going through life, having friends, losing friends, going through fights, whatever it may be. I've come to find that not everyone is going to treat you wrongly.
And what I also heard out of that is when you're talking about, for instance, with your mental health, you needed word term I'm using for this because we're talking about, just to kind of give the comparison. You needed a spotter when you were going through stuff emotionally and mentally. You needed somebody who could give some sense of direction, though it is your emotions that you're pushing the weight of, right? You needed some sense of emotional direction, some type of spiritual, mental, emotional direction in which I was like, you know what? I can do this. I can bust these reps out. I can get swole, just getting a little sore, but I need somebody to help guide me a little bit. You figured that out. And then, not to put you on blast, but you figured that out like with what we established with divinity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you probably recognize in a lot of ways that there are some people, and we've had these conversations, there's some people in which that you probably would have had at one point that could be there for you emotionally. Then you realize, oh, you can't handle me here.
Yeah.
You can't spot me here because this is a different type of weight that you are accustomed to. You haven't done the work to spot me here. I don't want to get too heavy into like racism and stuff like that. There are people in your life that are not certain, intelligence when talking about people skills that you've talked about. Not named specifically, but are like, oh, you in this area, you can't handle this weight. You can't spot me in this weight. You don't even go to this part of the gym with me in life. You know what I'm saying? You have to recognize that there's some people that can spot you in some areas, or you just like, I don't think I want you spotting me anymore because you haven't done the work that it takes to spot me to help my growth. Does that sound pretty fair to say?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, man. I just think that, there's people that are put in your life for a reason, and there's people that are put in your life for a season. And I think that sometimes, when we look at bad times, when we look at betrayal, when we look at all these things, a lot of times we look at it in a negative light, but sometimes it could be the best thing for you. It can be something that can help you learn, something that can help you avoid such people as they. It can help you to even grow in your personal life. So for me, whenever I've had times where people have backstabbed me, have turned their back on me, whatever it may be, I thank God, actually. I thank God because, he wanted to teach me something in that relationship. And sometimes it's not even God. Sometimes it's just me being stupid and trusting someone I know I shouldn't, if I'm just keeping it 100. And sometimes I have to look at myself and say, man, I made a bad decision hanging out with them or having a relationship with them, even though there was red flags or there was something that was telling me I shouldn't, and I was just too blind to see it, or I just didn't recognize the signs. It's a learning lesson. And I just think that those things are meant to grow you. They're meant to push you to a new level that you're about to go to. So yeah, it's sometimes we have to look at ourselves and say, hey, I made the wrong decision by trusting this person. Hey, I did the wrong thing. And say, hey,
not even so much that you recognized it's not so much that you entrust in them, you realize like they couldn't handle the weight.
Yeah, exactly.
It's either because they chose not to spot you when they said they would, or they haven't put in the work. I was talking about staying in shape. A relationship is something you constantly, just like muscles. It doesn't matter how much work you put in, and then if you just stop, Tyler, I mean, like, we're not high maintenance by any means, brother, but like, every once in a while, you and me checking on each other and everything like that. I can't go, and I say this and not trying to get emotional because I love you, my brother, is like, I can't go 2 to 3 months without talking to you. You know what I'm saying? You're one of those people in my life that I can't go that long without. I'm trying not to cry. You know, I can't go that long without talking to you. Why?
Right.
Because I realize in this season of my life that in my growth, you know what I'm saying, there's some things I won't be able to get past or get through or push without having you in my life. And I say that because there's, you know, there's many times when we have people in our lives, they have not put in the work, as Maya likes to say, relational equity. They have not established or nurtured or discipled that in which that they can continue to advance, help you advance. Because I say like spotters, everybody you have in your life is leading you in some way, shape, or form. Way, shape, or form. No, I guarantee if you had a personal trainer and he just decided, I'm not coming to workouts for like 2 weeks straight, that's going to halt your progress.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is. But yeah, man. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about when I'm talking about this is, and you know what I alluded to it earlier, but I was talking about like what happened last summer when I had gotten doxxed and everything like that. And everybody, you know, like my past was dug up and it was thrown in my face. And, you know, everybody was like, oh God. Same people that would said, I'm ride or die. I'm here. I'm spotting you. I got you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And when it was time to spot me, some people dropped the weight, held on to the weight, and really didn't do nothing. And some people pushed it back down and halted my growth or even put me in danger.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think this is super, super important when we're talking about this, because a lot of times people will make you feel bad. There's never a good way to deliver bad news.
Oh, no.
But I don't, in a weird way, and it's funny, my brother, your name is Good News Tyler. I don't believe that even when something is bad, that you can't, even when in something in a loss, if you recognize the loss, there's still a win in that. I think even when you recognize that somebody somebody shouldn't be spotting you in this area, that's indication and a responsibility on your part. I need a new spotter, and you shouldn't have to apologize for that either.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that brings up anything for you. Just talk about like when you realize like that person like couldn't handle the weight or isn't equipped or conditioned to handle that weight to spot you. I don't know if that resonates with you or that that gives you any thoughts or anything. What you got for me, dog?
Yeah. So you got to keep in mind that everyone goes through their own battles. Everyone goes through their own trials, tribulations, whatever it may be. No one is without issue or without some type of problem. We all deal with things, whether it be financial, physical, spiritual, mental. We're all going through something. So sometimes you get to a level that they just haven't reached yet.
Come on.
You gotta
come on, keep going. Come on.
Oh, okay. So sometimes you get to a level that they just haven't reached yet.
Come on.
And you have to leave them behind for your own well-being, right? I always tell people we take this word selfish, right? And a lot of times we look at it in a negative light, right? And to me, it's not bad to be selfish sometimes. And what I mean by that is if you're not good mentally, if you're not good spiritually, if you're not good in these areas, you're not going to be good for anyone else. So you have to take care of yourself. You have to take a break. You have to take, time to yourself to be like, hey, I love y'all, but I got to go over here and, do my therapy or whatever I have to do.
And
Talk to somebody.
that's a responsibility thing too, because if you tell people, you can spot somebody,
Right.
and something happens where, like, say if, like, I don't know, I'm spotting you, Ty, and I gotta, like, I don't know, I got tennis elbow, I get tendonitis in my elbow, I jack my elbow up or something is wrong with me physically, emotionally, that I am not in the right mental capacity and headspace to spot you.
Mm-hmm.
Not only am I not being able to spot you correctly, and I may hinder your growth, but I could end up killing you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can end up killing you or killing something that you were trying to accomplish. You know what I'm saying? And you need to, I think that when we're talking about this, and I'm talking about tribal, I'm talking about having your tribe, it is important to tell people in your corner, I'm not going to be able to show up. I can't spot you today. I can't spot you because of right now, X, Y, and Z. I can't be here in this. I can't spot you right here because you deserve better than that. And because I have decided to be in your life as a spotter, I have a responsibility to you to tell you I cannot spot you. At the same time, we need to be able to recognize, as you said, like, say if like you're somebody spotting you, bro. I mean, if God wants to do it, fine. Let's fill some of the cavities in my shirt. Sure, why not? You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of air in this shirt. But say if I go from like 10s to 15s to 25s to 45s to 55s on each side, 65 to 75, 85, whatever, and you're almost like, whoa, bro, can you slow down?
Yeah.
No, you're gonna look me in the eye, brother. You're gonna be like, I can't spot you here. Maybe it's time for you to find somebody who can spot you, or I can help you find somebody who can spot you, so your growth does not get hindered or slowed down. Your progress does not get halted. You know what I'm saying? What you got from me? What you got from me, dog?
And you're doing more damage by staying there, or having someone in your life that can't handle it. It's doing more damage than it is good. So sometimes it's better to let people go, or it's better to move on, or it's better to say, hey, I'm not the right person. You got to go and find the right person. Sometimes it's better to do that, because the worst thing if you really love someone, you're going to want the best for them. So if you're not the best, like, let's say I'm in the gym, right? And I'm, doing the bench press and I'm lifting the weights. I'm going to find someone that's very muscular and very strong to spot me. I'm not going to pick some skinny little, someone that doesn't work out to spot me. I'm not going to do that, because
I get it, Tyler. It's all right. I get it, bro. I get it.
No, but it's like, if I'm doing bench presses, right? Now I have someone that can handle that weight, just in case, I need help getting it up. If I don't have someone to do that can handle that weight, it could injure me. I could drop it, or injure my chest, injure my sternum, a lot of things can happen there. So it's better sometimes to just move on, let someone go, or tell someone, hey, you gotta let me go. As hard as it may be sometimes, it's better to do that. So sometimes you gotta think about yourself for your own healing, for your own mental, for your own physical, for what you need to move on. Sometimes it's better to do that.
And we see that in scripture, like with Abraham when he had to say goodbye to Lot. We saw that with even though he didn't end up doing it, but he had to have the willingness to do so. When Abraham was going up the mountain to sacrifice his son, the men that accompanied him only could go so far up the mountain. God was like, I need you to do this, but they can't be there when you do this. You know what I'm saying? There's many times in which God has made it known that some people can't, just because you started with them doesn't mean you got to finish with them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There have been in cases where people were there at the beginning in some season in your life, but they didn't have to finish with you. Like there's a reason. There is a reason why some of your a lot of your teachers that you start off with in elementary school are not teaching you in high school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Whether of their own work where they're just not equipped, or they just, you can't spread yourself out too thin.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's not saying that a multitude of people is necessary for growth. But in a lot of ways, don't put it all on that one spotter either.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because they can't handle it.
Mm-hmm.
They can't.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They might be spotting other people in certain areas and they just don't have the time.
Yeah.
But recognize the difference between effort and excuses. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But you should never feel bad about that. Say if you're spotter for whatever reason, you know what I'm saying? And then, I want everybody to be clear here because I think people get confused between qualifications by anything we are talking about. I was saying, I said one of the things, and you know what I'm talking about. One of these things I posted on my Instagram, family isn't biological, it's chemical. You know what I'm saying? Just because people are qualified to be family does not mean that they have to be family to you. You know what I'm saying? Because blood will treat you like water real quick. But people you have chemistry with, intimacy with, you have divine and relational equity with, can fill the place of family. You know what I'm saying? And for whatever reason, family or friend, let's keep it real here. Just because somebody, I said this in the sister chat one time, just because you've done and you've healed, you know what I'm saying? Like, say if somebody dropped a weight on you, say if somebody halted the weight, and they showed you that they can handle weight again, that doesn't mean that they have to be your spotter again. I think a lot of times with people, we romanticize our nostalgia and we reinstate people that do not need to be reinstated as certain roles in your life. You know what I'm saying? That's completely up to you. And listen to God and your conscience for that. But there's many times that say if your spotter was gone for whatever reason, like say if like Ty, say God forbid, you know what I'm saying, but say if like for God forbid, like I'm not able to be that brother that Tyler can trust and come to for like 2 months straight. And then I'm finally better, but Tyler found somebody new that has been able to feed him and spiritually. I can't be mad at Tyler because he's going to be like, I've built something with this new spotter. I've built some type of bond or relationship, a trust with this new spotter where you weren't. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't have to apologize for that either. Sometimes when people drop the weight, it's not up to them to decide how hard that thing hits your chest and if it hurt or not. You know what I'm saying? Or as somebody say, when people hurt you, they don't get the right to tell you if they hurt you or not. You know what I'm saying? I always tell people, don't tell the cut how to bleed, especially if you cut them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you lost that right. Intention does not negate impact. It's something I always say. And then that person that is going through that, you gotta make that decision and you gotta be like, look, do I want this person? Do I think it is wise, safe, practical to have this person spotting me, especially if they already dropped the weight, whether from not being conditioned or by willful choices that cause them to not be able to spot you, whether by choice or being ill-equipped or unconditioned or out of you know what I'm saying, like out of shape. That's okay, but you still need, like, who is spotting you though? Who is spotting? I'm not asking you how long have they been spotting you, how are they spotting you. I'm just saying, who is spotting you? Because you need a spotter. You need a spotter, because if they're doing it right, they're spotting you. I shouldn't have to ask how are they spotting you. Who is spotting you? You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to when I opened this up, Ty, and it was like a small word that Pastor Stephen Chandler talked about. He talked about, like, you might have came from some type of background or left a season in your life where people did you dirty and they showed you that they can't be trusted, but that doesn't mean that you can't, you should damn everybody else.
Right.
Just because, you know what I'm saying? Completely understandable why you should. I mean, could do that and would do that, but it's not wise because you need a spotter. You need a spotter for growth to happen.
Right. And here's the thing too, that I don't blame people. I really don't, when they say, oh, I can't just trust anybody else. Sometimes it's smart not to just trust anybody. Actually I'll say a lot of the time it's smart not to just trust anybody. But just have an open mind, open heart towards people that come around that seem genuine. And if something happens in that relationship to where you find out, oh, it wasn't really genuine, then yeah, leave that relationship. But it's funny because for me, I see it all the time when it comes to like romantic relationships, right? When you have two people that love each other, they get together, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever it may be, or girlfriend, whatever your preference is, that's what you go for. But when you're in a relationship with someone and something happens to where it ends that relationship, it's devastating. It's really devastating. But sometimes that devastation can bring forth new growth, can bring forth new life, can bring forth new fruit. And I think sometimes going through pain or going through trials, tribulations, whatever it may be, it can actually be a very great thing for us. It can help us to learn. It can help us to grow. It can help us to get to a new place we've never been before. It can bring about wisdom, intelligence, smartness, whatever it may be. It can really help you as a person. So, like for me, right? I've been in relationships before, and when those relationships ended, I felt like it was the end of the world. Especially when I was in like middle school, high school and stuff, and I had little crushes, and we were like, and then when those relationships ended, I was so devastated. I was like, oh, it's the end of the world, but looking back on it as a 29-year-old man now, I realized that there was a lot of things wrong about those relationships that I didn't see while I was in it. So sometimes you have to get back far from a picture to really get the whole picture. If you're up on a picture, up close, you're not going to get the whole picture. It's only when you step back, you see, oh, I didn't see that before, right? So I think that when it comes to romantic relationships, like I said, some things are for a reason, some things are for a season. Although you're in that relationship, it may not be for the long run. Although we all hope when we jump into relationships like this is it. It might not be. And sometimes people are there to help you learn, whether that be through good circumstances or bad circumstances. And I'll give you an example. My girlfriend I'm with now, Alicia, we've been together for 4 years. I love her dearly. Like, I don't really see myself with anybody else. I just see myself with her for the rest of my life. God forbid if something happened between us to where it's like, oh, we got to break up, right? I've learned a lot from her, and she's helped me grow so much as a man. And she's taught me a lot in our relationship that I'm going to walk away from that with better understanding of how to operate a relationship, better understanding of how to treat a woman, all these things. It's going to help me be better. God forbid, I hope that doesn't happen. But if it does, it's going to be a learning thing for me, So yeah, sometimes certain relationships are here to teach us certain things. And it's devastating when relationships end, but it was for a season, and we just got to accept that and move on and know that something better is out there for us. Like some of the past relationships I had before, if I had stayed with them, I don't think I really would have learned anything from that. But I learned that those relationships were to help me to get to the place I am now, to where I'm with the women that I love, that I see myself with for the rest of my life. So Yeah, man. I just think that we need to take everything as a learning process and know that certain people are in our lives for a reason and for a season.
And I think that's super important, because when we're talking about like knowing your tribe, there's no reason that you should have people in your life that you don't know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When I say you don't know, like you don't, and when I say that, and the scenario, the comparison I drew, Ty, was there's a difference between people in your circle and in your corner. You need to know what the difference is, because you may sign people up and ask for people to be in your corner, and they probably haven't even shown you, or you mistaken in which their qualities or capabilities to even be in your circle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's good. That's good. That's some good stuff. I think we wrapped up on that part. And this is the third section that I wanted to talk about. And this is kind of like a way for people to, like, I guess, like, kind of get to know me. Lately, I've been doing this thing where I try to give people more of an idea of like who I am, not only as a Christian, as a Black man, as an individual, as a Sonic nerd, as a taco enthusiast, all these things. I've been like kind of sharing like these pieces of myself so people can kind of, not kind of, but to get a know and an understanding of who Kid Casper is, who MrLeadWithLove is, and what I am talking about today is, let me type this in. Boom, 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 boom. Why lead with love? And what does it mean? What does that mean to me? Ty, just from getting to know me, bruh, or not so much what does it mean to me, what does, like, I guess, like, lead with love mean to you, I guess?
Yeah. So, I said it on yesterday's podcast. I think everyone is a leader in some way, shape, or form. Whether you be Christian or not, you're some kind of leader. Someone's looking at you in a certain way. Someone's looking up to you. And I think that leading with love is being an example, recognizing that everyone is a human being and recognizing that everyone deserves love and respect. That's something that I'm really big on is telling people, like, everyone deserves love and respect. And you really don't know what people are going through. So I approach everyone with a positive attitude. I approach everyone letting them know that I'm someone that is not going to like put you down, or I'm not someone that is going to like look at you different, whether you believe what I believe or live the same kind of lifestyle I live or whatever it is. Like, I'm not going to look at you different. And I think that's something that a lot of people forget. We're so judgmental as people. We judge people based on the way they look, the way they're dressed, what kind of music they listen to. What we judge people, like, that's just how we are naturally. We're naturally judgmental people. But I think when you put away that judgment and you say, no matter how this person looks, I want to get to know them. I want to talk to them, because you'll be surprised. Some of the people you think, are intimidating just based on the way they look or whatever. And I know, because I faced that before, where I just felt like someone was intimidating just based on how they look. And I was scared to approach them. But then once I actually did talk to them, I found out that this person ain't like intimidating at all. Like, they're one of the nicest people that I know. So I think just recognizing that people are people and that everyone has their own journey. Everyone has their own way that they live, and just having respect, having respect for people, I think is big. So I think when you can respect people just for the fact that they're a person, I think it's a lot easier to love people and a lot easier to let people in and a lot easier to talk to people and a lot easier to just, build friendships, build relationship, build family, like Casper, we've only known each other for what, 4 or 5 months, something like that. And it's like,
I want to say Early January, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, early January. Yep.
Yeah, so 6-7 months ish.
Yep, because I met you like right before my birthday, and your birthday is the day after mine. So yeah, for sure.
Right. Yeah. So we've only known each other for a short amount of time, yet we built such a strong brotherhood that it's crazy. Like it seems like we've known each other for years. Like sometimes I forget we've only known each other for 2021. Like that's crazy. Like we didn't know each other last year, but yet we've built such a strong relationship because of our, the fact that we both want to lead with love. And I think that's important, and I met a lot of great people with divinity, in the sister chat, whether it be Key, whether it be Alana, whether it be Jess, Emily. Like I met a lot of great people that are just like some of the best people that I know and I enjoy talking to on a daily, whether it be in Zoom or through group chat or whatever it may be. And it's like at the end of the day, we're all people. And I think that if we can all recognize that and say, regardless of our difference of opinion or belief or whatever it may be, at the end of the day, let's just love one another. And we can agree to disagree, that's fine. But let's just love one another. And I think through that, we built such strong relationship and such strong camaraderie. And I'm not sure if I'm saying that word right, but such strong
camaraderie or some, I don't know. English is my second language, brother. So yeah.
Something like that. But yeah, I think that's important. I think people forget that. I think people only want to be around the people that think like them and believe like them and dress like them and listen to the same music. And I think that's where a lot of people fall short. A lot of people fall short from that because they're not giving themselves a chance to grow. I've grown so much from communicating with people that don't believe what I believe, that believe the opposite, that live a different lifestyle, that see life different. Like I've learned a lot from them, and I'm always willing to ask questions and hear them out and be like, why do you believe what you believe? And learn from that, and learn from that. And it's helped me to be a better man, a better person. So I think it's important for people to recognize that regardless of belief, regardless of lifestyle, like let's just love one another, and that's something I try to be an example for. And basically that's what leading with love means to me.
Gotcha. So like for me, I think of, and it's kind of funny because like, this has changed over time. I think of how some of the people who have had the biggest impact in my life were people that approached me and ended up leading me and loved me when I was not a lovable person. You know what I'm saying? I think of how Christ came into my life. I think how I accepted Christ to come into my life. I think of how these people that have like impacted my life, and some of them are still in my life and some people are not, and some people are dead and gone, unfortunately, but I'll see them in heaven. It is lead with love. For me, love in itself saved my life. You know what I'm saying? It took people, even before I got saved, it took people speaking stuff into me that even in a time that I didn't understand it, it resonated and it reverberated well after me getting saved. And I'm like, wow, this actually makes sense now. You know what I'm saying? It took people leading with love in how they loved me. You know what I'm saying? Building me up to be a leader without even telling me you need to be a leader. The example that they used was love. So one thing I want to kind of do, because it's important to teach people you're trying to reach. So definition of love, let me get that in here real quick. I got on my notes. Here we go. This is one of the things I have. Definition of love. An intense feeling or deep affection. You know what I'm saying? So an intense feeling of deep affection. You know what I'm saying? How you like And when I say like affectionate, a lot of people think affection is like, well, not a lot. Some examples people think is, if you're with your girlfriend, like you just gotta, you didn't. I was trying to get too graphic, but let's just keep it a beanie with folks. I'm sorry if this is too graphic, but if I just kiss her the right way, or kiss him the right way, or have sex with him the right way, or have sex with her the right way, if I do this and do that, they, you know what I'm saying? They think because they fulfill certain things on a physical sense, that's love. And I hate to break it to some of y'all, but you can kiss somebody you don't love. You can have sex with people you don't love. I'm just saying, you can hold hands with people you don't love. You can say I love you to people you don't love. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully that's not too, no, you know what I'm saying? Oh, it's not. No, it's not, bruh. It's not. I think like one thing is that people have such a counterfeit version of what love is. So when they're actually experiencing it, they have this very misconcise representation of what that is to them. And so another definition is this is interesting. Let me add this back. Where to go? An intense, I had that already. Where the hell to go? Oh, come on, bro. I had the answer right there. What in the hell? Did I say that? I'm bugging. No, I did not say that. Cool. All right, cool. So I almost lost my notes for a second, boy. I was about to get mad on them. A great interest and pleasure in something. Sometimes leading with love for me is taking an interest or putting myself in a position in which I can try or at least learn what it means that people find pleasure in. Now, some of y'all love sex. I'm celibate. I'm not supposed to be doing that until I get married. So that I don't I'm good. But as far as like things that like make people laugh and stuff, things that make people laugh, there's some stuff that I try to understand why my brother Tyler likes. There's some stuff. Now, some of the stuff that he eats food wise, I'm not going to partake in it. I just don't have an interest in it, but I at least know these things. It interests me to understand the things that please my brother. You know what I'm saying? It interests me to understand the things that please my sisters and my siblings, you know, for my non-binary siblings out here. You know what I'm saying? It's intentional. That's something that I say to people. Love is intentional. Like it's not something you can just do. You have to subscribe to it in every encounter, in every word you utter. I did not stutter. Everything that you do, dog. Like love is an action verb. You know what I'm saying? Or key in her mayo and peas. I love her. I'm not gonna yuck her yum, but because I love her, it interests me to even know what she loves, even if it doesn't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? But what lead with love means to me, I've seen in examples the best way to impact people and to minister to people and to counsel people, and because I can't save people. But the first commandment is love. You know what I'm saying? I can't get anybody into heaven, but because I am an ambassador of heaven, I can show them what heaven is and how I treat people. Heaven is not treating people like a piece of shit. Because if somebody act like that in heaven, I'm snitching. I'll be the first one to be like, hey, get this man out of here, dog. He out here tripping. I'll snitch so doggone fast. Boy, what you mean? calm down. I'm not a heretic because I made that joke. Good God, Christians, crack a smile every once in a while. Good Lord. But yeah, man. I believe that Jesus wouldn't have accomplished anything in his life if he had not had love. God himself would not have sent Jesus to die for us if he did not love the world. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm a heaven bouncer. I'm narking on everybody. I'm a man that, like, I don't know if we're gonna allow to do roast, but actually I do that out of love because I only roast people I like. Well, I love. I don't roast people I don't like. I eviscerate and I identify that there's a difference. But love is building, refining, and crafting. Love does not destroy. Love does not destroy and abort. And when I say abort, like to put it into something. Love is life. When you speak life into people. And, you know, Tyler said this yesterday on the podcast. There's a difference between cussing and cursing. I could tell, pardon my French, I could tell Tyler, hey, man, kiss my ass, bruh. But I'm like completely joking and in a joking manner and stuff. And we're just having fun. But if I tell Tyler to kill himself or unalive himself, I ain't cuss. But I spoke death into his life. You know what I'm saying? I spoke death into his life. And I always say to people, is what you are saying to people, it's sowing a seed of something that is going to flourish in life, or is it going to be something that decomposes and causes a detriment in death? There's a huge difference. So for me, when we're talking about lead with love, that was like one of the things. I'm gonna show y'all a little clip. I really don't like to flex myself because I hate it, but I think it is important. I'm very uncomfortable with this right now, to be honest with you, but I think this is important when we're talking about like this subject matter. So lead with love for me is the first thing. I'll just play a clip for y'all. How about that? I'll play a clip and I'll ping it up real quick. Where is it at? Boom. 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 Let me know if you can see it, Ty. You can see? All right, cool. All right. Let's get it.
If this is okay with everybody, and I don't know everybody's spiritual beliefs out here, but if you are uncomfortable, there's no reservation for you, for me in my heart, if you leave. But I want to pray for everybody out here.
Okay. Yeah.
So if we could just be humble and bow our heads. God, forgive us. God, provoke us, prick our hearts, put Jesus on the throne, and put our egos, our agendas, our flesh under our feet. Sow seeds of love.
Now, mind you,
and let these seeds grow into fruit, vegetables, trees, things that we can use to feed the next generation. Things we can use to feed black, brown, white. God, forgive me for if I have ever done evil in the name of Jesus. I repent right now. And anybody else who was out here, if you proclaim the name of Jesus, my reservation, honestly, is mostly with people that, like Trump, hold that Bible up and contradict it willingly. Every day.
Yeah, I mentioned Trump a little bit. My bad.
I've been on social media saying this. Anybody that's probably gotten clips of. I have a podcast, by the way. I have a podcast called the Kid Casper Podcast. I also
who's that?
Make Christian rap music. One of the things I mentioned about Christianity, and this is, I'm still in my prayer, so y'all can still bow your heads. But one of the things I said, half-hearted Christianity is like serving somebody medium rare chicken. That's not sushi, y'all. That's salmonella. That is salmonella.
Okay, so I want to pause on that real quick. First off, that was the only analogy in which I could get that people could understand. Because most of the things, and anybody that is familiar with my, she said, "Hey, yo, Auntie, chill out, dog. I'm trying to drive this home." Hey, yo, but hear me out. Listen, Linda, listen. That was the only comparison in which I wanted to go after, because for me as a Christian, the first thing I'm supposed to critique is the church. Paul is very explicit when he says, "Don't rebuke those that live of the world. Rebuke and hold accountable to those you identify with spiritually." So the church. So this is fresh. Now, mind you, this is fresh after like I was in DC when this craziness happened. Hopefully, I mean, I was in DC that day, but I was not there in that moment. I was in DC when Black Lives Matter, not the organization, let's be very clear, because there's a huge difference, but there was Black Lives Matter protests and stuff and everything like that. And, you know, 45 decided, I want to take a picture of the Bible upside down and get to church, but I don't want these mean black people to be mean to me and everything like that. So I'm going to tear gas. I'm going to send people to tear gas them, essentially, like that. But he do that, but then we'll hold the Bible up afterwards. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I drew that comparison. I'm going to reconcile this for you. Black girl warrior. I got you, dog. I got you.
The reason I use that analogy, because you can't love somebody halfway.
I'm gonna bring it back a little bit.
That is like serving somebody. One of the things I said.
There we go.
Podcast. I also make Christian rap music. One of the things I mentioned about Christianity, and this is, you know, I'm still in my prayer, so y'all can still bow your heads. But one of the things I said, half-hearted Christianity is like serving somebody medium rare chicken. That's not sushi, y'all. That's salmonella. That is salmonella. The reason I use that analogy, because you can't love somebody halfway. You can't correct somebody halfway. You can't provoke somebody to do the right thing halfway. How would you feel if your parents had conditional love for you?
I say this all the time. Y'all remember my episode I did a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago, Ty? I think you were there for that. Performance-based love. Love comes without conditions. You know what I'm saying? Love comes, it's not ambitious, it's not selfish, it's selfless. It is unprovoked in some ways. There isn't some type of incentive that needs to be in place for it to happen. We talked about Sadaka yesterday, where you give and not even expect the thank you or to get the credit or even know where that love is going towards. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm gonna bring this back real quick. I got y'all. Stick with me. If everybody, if you're tracking, drop a black heart in the comment section, like, share this video, and, you know, like I said, share, because hopefully this is beneficial to somebody. I'm gonna clip this part up and make it its own episode. Its own clip and everything like that, but this is important. But let me know if you're tracking. Drop a black heart in the comment section. Come on now. All right, let's bring it back real quick.
Your black brothers and sisters have been getting conditional love by this society for 400 plus years. It's time for us. In the Bible, it says, when my brother is hurting, I may be paraphrasing, when my brother is hurting, I am hurting. So God, I want you to prick our hearts, make us more sensitive of one another. I didn't have to be a homosexual to know that hate crime against homosexuals is wrong. I didn't have to be shaped a certain way or be a certain height to know that body shaming is wrong. Let's apply that same pressure and rebuke the nature of sin with the name racism. We already are dealing with the pandemic, y'all. We already dealing with COVID-19, but we've been dealing with a virus that is man-made, and we know the cure for that. It's love.
Yes.
It is love. Point blank, period. We need to let Jesus sit on the throne in our hearts. And this, like I said, this is calling out the people that proclaim the name of Jesus. We need to let Jesus sit on the throne in our hearts and reign. And we need to let the blood of Jesus reign on top of our heads. That way it can work its way into our heart and we can be better. And I keep saying it, if not for us, for our kids. I don't have children, but I have influence over nieces and nephews and my friends' kids. You have influence. If you're going to sow hate, you're going to reap hate. So God, I just ask that we love on one another, regardless if it's uncomfortable. I think of the man that took up his mat in the Bible, and he could not get his healing until he took up his mat, removed himself from a place of bondage and comfortability.
So that part I wanted to also touch on too. Love is not love. I said this yesterday in the when we were talking about the 8 levels of charity, on discussing the importance of tzedakah, in other words, social justice and everything in the Bible, because people think that some reason that social justice is heretical. They don't really know Jesus. I'm just gonna say that. But love is uncomfortable. Love, you know, love requires you to do things you never thought that you would do and wouldn't be asked of doing. I say it all the time. That cross was uncomfortable for Jesus. You know what I'm saying? That cross was uncomfortable for Jesus. That cross, that those 39 whips, that crown of thorns was uncomfortable for Jesus, but it was love despite the pain and the bondage and the turmoil that he went through. And this is me speaking for me. This isn't me trying to police anybody else. This is me speaking of what love means for me. And I draw it to my faith because I didn't know what true love was until I got saved. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to get all preachy. This is just me speaking out of my own truth. So please hang with me. Drop a black heart in the comment section. You're still with us. Throw the I love you up if you still love your favorite Christian rapper, your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna get back into it.
And that same mat that was used to cripple him, he used that mat, rose it up after he took up his mat as a strength that healing can happen. Healing can happen. And that is not only a testimony of the strength that he had, but it is the glory of God that he was able to raise up his mat and get uncomfortable. We have to get uncomfortable. For white people out here, I pray that there's going to be reconciliation with your black brothers. With black brothers and sisters, I pray that there's going to be reconciliation with those. And I'm sorry that this is going to become a problem for some people. White people, you are going to lose family members.
Okay. So I wanted to draw this right
here.
They're
not going to agree with everything you were going to say. Unfortunately.
There's a part that I wanted to touch on, with just in case when I was talking about with this rally, for instance. And I wanted to relate it with and I related it to when I was at this Black Lives Matter protest. I was trying to, I was talking to my white brothers and sisters and siblings, that love is going to require you to take a stance, which means that there are going to be people that turn against you, because you take that stance. The same way you can love something, that means you have to hate something. You know what I'm saying? Me, I love to love, which means I hate hate. I hate anything that displays hate. I hate anything that comes against. That's why I will be the first one to tell you, and I'll say what your pastors won't say. You cannot be a Christian and be homophobic or transphobic or practice ableism, to look at somebody that is the least of these and think that you can actually serve Jesus when you refuse to serve the least of these. That is ugly to his goodness. You know what I'm saying? So I was trying to I'm gonna bring it back here real quick. I got y'all.
White people, you are going to lose family members. They're not going to agree with everything you were going to say. Unfortunately, they're really just not.
They're not worth it anyway.
Thank you.
Let's not be afraid.
Let that be God's problem. Let God deal with that. You're going to lose people that don't agree with your message. You're going to lose people that you grew up with, that you even called your brother, and they are your actual brother. You might even lose your parents because they do not agree with you. I will be your brother. She will be your sister.
So one thing that I wanted to touch on when we're talking about this like leading with love thing, sometimes when you take a stance of love, you end up being bastardized by the very people that were supposed to love you properly. You know, and just to throw in real quick, because not only black, you know, because black people can assimilate to white supremacy as anybody else can. But I've learned since in this journey of racial reconciliation and fighting for what is right, you know what I'm saying? I've learned that when you take a stand in love, you end up being bastardized by the very people that were supposed to love you properly. But love, the same people that will bastardize you will end up pushing you in the arms of people that will love you properly or are willing to learn how to love you properly, that are willing to spot you when somebody else walked away from your bench. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be times when you take the stance of love that you will go and experience the most hate you've ever experienced in your life. Tyler, you're very new to your blackness, brother. This place in your life, this self-love and everything like that, bro. The minute that you took a stand and said, I'm gonna love myself, love my people, love what I came from, and love like everything that comes with it, and love everybody properly, and even going against the grain of what you believe, what at one point what you believe to be what is Christianity, you probably never experienced the most hate you probably experienced ever now to this time is probably from Christians. I think that's safe to say.
Yep, definitely, man. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, just like my brother, I do Christian rap as well. I knew that when I took this stand for Black Lives Matter, for speaking up for racial equality, for speaking out against police brutality, all this kind of stuff, I knew I was going to lose church family or people that I thought were family. I knew that. And it didn't matter to me because at the end of the day, I have a duty to please God before man. So if God is calling me to do something, I don't care if all the churches in my area don't agree with it and tell me you're wrong and you're a heretic and all this kind of stuff. I don't care because at the end of the day, I'm here to please God. I'm not here to please man. You know, it's like Lecrae has this great quote where he said, if you live for people's acceptance, you will die from their rejection. And that's a quote that's really stuck with me. If I live for people's acceptance, I will die from their rejection. So I don't live for people, you know. I love the people that I am called to love, you know, and I still love those who left my side and have told me I'm wrong and have completely abandoned me. I still love those people, but at the end of the day, y'all stuck where you're at. I'm going to another level. So at the end of the day, I gotta leave y'all behind because you guys just don't get it. You guys really don't get it. I gotta move on. And through that, I've met some of the best people I've ever met who are Christians, who are not Christians, who don't believe what I believe, who do believe what I believe. I met the best people from this. So I don't regret it at all, you know, because I know I'm doing the right thing. And I know this is going to make an impact on someone else that maybe they're not seeing things this way right now, but it's going to give them something to think about. When we provide scriptures, when we talk about this, when we talk about it in a biblical way, it's going to have someone thinking. It's going to have someone being like, huh, I never saw it that way. And it may change them the same way it had to change me. Because just a year ago, I wasn't on this tip. I wasn't on the Black Lives Matter tip. I wasn't on speaking out, so I'm very, very new to this. But I had to be challenged. I had to be called out. I had to be, sit down and shut up and listen to God. And God had to tell me this is the right way to go. So at the end of the day, regardless of the hate I get, and the majority of it is from Christians, which is very funny, but yeah, regardless of all the hate I get, I got to keep carrying this cross. I got to keep it moving. I got to keep speaking out. I got to keep doing this because at the end of the day, I know what's right. According to my faith, according to my God, according to the Bible I read, I know what's right. So regardless of Christians want to agree with me or not, it don't matter to me. At the end of the day, God is showing me what the truth is. I got to follow God. I got to follow Jesus.
And there's another thing I touched on this, and I titled this on my YouTube. This is while I was like hitting the streets last year. Let me pull it up real quick. And I built off of, so where I grew up, where I went to school at, famously, there was this house across the street from my school growing up. It was a Confederate flag across the street from my school. A predominantly black area, predominantly black school. Like maybe like 80% of the elementary, middle, and high school. You know what I'm saying? It was black kids, black and brown kids, and then the rest were white. You know what I'm saying? That was something that growing up, I really did not understand why I had to be okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Something that it always ate me up. I always quote James Baldwin when I'm talking about to be a Negro in this country and to be relatively conscious is to be in a state of rage all the time. It was something that I was always, oh yeah. I'll play it for you. I'll play this clip real quick. I got you, Black Girl Warrior. One sec. She said Confederate. Yeah. Oh my God. What? Hold on real quick, bro. I got y'all. And let me know when y'all see it. Ty, let me know when you see it, dog. Good? All right, bet. Let me just full screen it real quick. All right, boom.
Flapping in the wind. I remember as a little kid going to a predominantly black school, and across the street we had a Confederate flag flapping in the wind.
Yep.
And I know this is gonna take somebody off. I get in their brain that it is a flag that represents country culture, but it was the Nike symbol of crippling my people. Let's keep it $150 out here, okay? That is no different than the swastika to me.
Well, they lost. They both lost.
Yeah, let's touch on that real quick. I wasn't really going to talk about racism too much, but the Confederacy and the Nazis both lost. So I don't really understand why y'all and Cowboys fans want to wave those flags around. They really concern me from time to time. I know Tyler's a Cowboys fan, so it just but yeah, yo, that was something that always used to like bug the ish out of me. And it's a symbol of hate, but it's so normalized in our culture and romanticize the very things that are symbols of hate. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can Google what the Confederate flag really stood for. Google the person that designed it and his reason for designing it. I'm not getting into that race conversation with y'all right now. I'm trying to drive this point home about leading with love. All right, let me bring this John back real quick. Hear me. Let's bring that John back.
I remember how I had to see it and not even truly understand it and accept it. How are you going to tell somebody after getting punched in the face, you have to accept you got punched in the face? Now multiply that to the size of a group of people. Every black and brown person in this country, they've been getting punched in the face for over 400 plus years. I don't want the message to get lost. Riots are not riots. Unfortunately, I'm sorry this creates tension for people, but riots is not it. But we have to understand. Just like when we have empathy for the child that's getting bullied in school, and then he snaps. Multiply that by a group of people. Y'all see the anger in the fire. Y'all hear the anger in the roars. But anger is never the primary emotion. That is depression, that is PTSD, that is something that has been indoctrinated in this country for 400 plus years. And it is manifested. I will say though, it is also manifested in positive ways. Because now we have people of all colors out here.
One of the things I want to touch on with this is love can be a culture. One of the things I'm always saying is cruelty like charity begins at home. We talk about charity a lot because I subscribe my life to the disciple of Christ, to Yahshua the King, you know what I'm saying? I believe in Sadaka, I believe in all that, hear me. And we're talking about cruelty like charity begins at home. It could be something that could be cultured. We live in a world where hate is cultured. You know what I'm saying? I know I like in this is the reason I keep bringing up the Black Lives Matter protest is because this is where, for me, where I guess like it became a code for me. It became not just a slogan, it was a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? It was a response. It was a verb. It wasn't just a title. I go by MrLeadWithLove, but if you know me by MrLeadWithLove by my moniker on social media, but not by what I say and how I carry myself, I'm doing something wrong. Or maybe you're not paying attention. But more than likely, if you don't feel that, it's because I'm doing something wrong. And I'm contradicting something that in us, because we're all, not saying we're all born with hate, but we all, because hate is so cultured in the society, you gotta this is why deconstruction in almost a lot of things is very important, but especially when we're talking about, like, for me as a disciple of Christ, this is why deconstruction in an American society is super important, because there are things that I used to participate in to have been hate, and I didn't know it to be hate. You know what I'm saying? We talked about how normalized homophobia is, especially in white and just evangelical circles, because the Black church is trifling for homophobia too. Ableism, capitalism, that mindset in which that, you know, like to exalt yourself to be higher than another person, and to be cruel to them. That is a normalized trait in this country. You know what I'm saying? In this world, in this country, because it's the country I live in and I reside in. There is a culture in this country. And for me, you know, I looked at, to me, I needed to respond. Not going to get too deep into why I hit the streets, because you can check on why did I leave my old church? That'll explain everything. But like, as far as after I saw what happened with George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor, and I saw the riots, yeah, sure, I saw the riots. And when I say I saw the riots, because some of the things that they classified as riots, you know, they had a bunch of other contributing factors, but that's besides the point. But when you decide to lead with love, you decide to understand. So you seek nuance. You look to understand and try to not so much rationalize, but try to reconcile why things are the way that they are. We look at the person who has a nasty attitude, but we don't seek to understand why they have a nasty attitude. You know, we talked about Frankenstein yesterday and Frankenstein's monster. We talk about the way that the monster wreaked havoc on the town, but but we don't address what happened to that monster. We do that a lot. We do that with people all the time. We for me, you know what I'm saying? Like I used to be an addict, you know what I'm saying? We look at the addict and we'll go like, man, they're just a drug addict. They're just a junkie. We'll say all these things that is so otherizing. We'll see these people that suffer from mental illnesses and I hate this word. We'll call them crazy. We'll call them broken. We'll call them useless. We'll say all these things, but we don't even want to understand why they way that they are and what caused them to be the way that they are. And I'm not saying they even need to explain themselves, but we're so quick to identify people for who they are in a season or a moment. Something Mike Todd said in one of his services, failure isn't the man, it's a moment. We're so quick to damn people for a moment in their life without even trying to realize what created this moment. You know what I'm saying? We do that with a lot of people. You know, I have plenty of women in my life. I got plenty of men in my life. I have plenty of women that like say and men that like are insecure, but I could spend more time mocking them and picking on the things they're insecure about, or I could try to understand why they are insecure. That way I could find a reason how I can love them better despite what they've been through. You know what I'm saying? I would love to hear their experiences and understand why the way that they are. And I always tell people it is, you know, to lead with love means to seek to understand how we hurt one another. Because if you don't even want to know how you hurt one another, how can we heal one another? If you're not willing to heal somebody, you can't tell me you love them, bruh. Nah, B. You can miss me with all of that. If you heal them, to provoke them like Jesus did with the man Jesus never touched this man. He just said, take up your mat. He provoked him to get out of his circumstance. And he was like, yo, get up, bruh. You got to get, he didn't say, bruh, but he said, you got to get up, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you are not fighting for somebody else's betterment, you are adding to their detriment, and you are not going to sit here and look me in the eye, whether you're a disciple of Christ or not, and tell me you love somebody. No, that's not how love works, B. We spend so much time diagnosing people, but not trying to prescribe something to help them get better. What you got for me, Ty?
Yeah, man. I think so. I had posted this status on Facebook a while ago where I said, next time, instead of questioning why people of color do certain things, why don't you question the system that caused us to do those things? And I think that is something that is very misunderstood when it comes to a lot of this stuff. Very overlooked. You know, it's funny, and I haven't really shared this with anybody until now. So it's funny because looking back on my old church and why I left my church, and looking back on some of the signs that I didn't recognize in the beginning, one of the biggest things that I look back on now, I'm like, wow, you know, it kind of blows my mind, is I remember when I had first started, like, I was struggling with this whole Black Lives Matter, social justice, racial reconciliation. I was struggling with these things, and because my church wasn't saying anything about it, and I was the only one who was questioning these things, so I felt like, am I doing the right thing? Am I not? Is this of God? Is this not of God? And I remember as I was going through my changes and questioning and doing all this kind of stuff, one of the pastors at that church had sat me down and said, watch this, and show me a video of Candace Owens basically bashing George Floyd, and was trying to tell me, oh, look, you know, it was really racist at the time. I didn't recognize it at first, though. But looking back on it, it was racist, because we already know the BS that Candace Owens be on. She'd be bashing the Black community, but it was almost like a tool to brainwash me to stay in that place and to ignore everything that was going on. And I was looking back on it, I'm like, wow, that was pure brainwashing that was going on there. And it's just it's crazy to me how you can claim to be a Christian, you can claim to love your neighbor, but you can keep silence on everything that's going on. It really blows my mind how people can really do that. Because I'm like, there's no way I'm going to keep quiet with everything that's going on. There is no way. The love of Christ in me does not allow me to stay quiet. It really doesn't. And it's like, man, it's just this thing we call church and this thing we call Christianity is just so twisted. And it's like, man, just to realize all the white supremacy that's going on and to realize how these are the same tactics that slave masters used to use for our ancestors to keep them in line. Used to twist the Bible and say, oh, look what the Bible says. Look at this, look at that. And twist it to make it seem like we are not human and that they are the superior race. Like it's so twisted. And it's like to this day, it's still going on. It's still happening in churches all over the, not just America, but all over the world. Like this is happening. And it's like, it's just, how can you call yourself a Christian and really be against racial reconciliation and be against speaking out? How can you do that? Like, that's something that really I question a lot. You know, I really do. But I know what I have to do.
Yeah, and it's that, and it's like, for me, I think of 3 R's I live by: reformation, rectification, and restoration. And we're talking about like how what Jesus lived by those 3 R's. He came here to rectify things that were wrong.
Yep.
And the 4th one I always forget about, and I just caught myself. He rectified the things that were wrong. He tried to reform the things that needed to be reformed. And he tried to restore things that needed to be restored. But reconciliation was a big thing. When people try to, this is the thing that kills me, and people don't understand when I'm talking about when you need to lead with love. Like that video, first off, that video with Candace Owens made me want to throw up, bro. Like it actually made me throw up. Like somebody said that to me. I told him, I said, don't you ever send me nothing like this again.
Yeah.
I said that was a demonic attack. Like I literally, like anytime that somebody tries to make you feel a lack of empathy and sympathy for those that have suffered and were brutalized, that is demonic.
It is.
That is demonic. It's just, bro, there's I forgot what, I'm trying to remember where in the Bible, but the dude that used to cut himself with rocks.
Yeah.
You could easily damn that man for cutting himself with a rock, but if anybody was to laugh and mock that man who was cutting himself with a rock, you have a demonic spirit that is decided to reside in you, and you keep cooking it dinner. You are feeding that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, for real, like I need people to understand like where that is dangerous. The minute that you start spectating for other people to not feel sympathy for somebody that is being treated less than, that is being brutalized, bullied, all that is a demonic entity. That is a demonic. I didn't want to get too spiritual, but that is demonic, bruh.
It is. And Doug, like I've gotten so much, bro, from Christians. Like I had one one, I guess you call her sister, that she sent me, you know, that the leaders of the Black Lives Matter coalition or the Black Lives Matter organization are witches and all this stuff, and try to like convince me that's why I shouldn't be about Black Lives Matter. And I'm just like, you guys really don't get it. Like, how many times do we have to tell you we do not represent the organization? Like, it's 2 separate things. And it's like, but I've gotten that so much, bro, from the church.
If I have to, I'm gonna say this as a black man. If I have to constantly say to people, when I say Black Lives Matter, that I don't mean the organization, then everybody that has white skin, I want everybody to understand this. Don't come to me if you ain't willing to do this. If you're not willing to say, I don't stand for everything that 45 or Hitler or any of these other biblical leaders, I say biblical because just because you recite words in a rap song don't mean that you live the life of the raps that you rapped. Do you understand me? Like, just because you decide to pontificate these things and say these things that you gonna be, you know what I'm saying? Like, no. If I have to sit here and prove that me and my pro-blackness doesn't mean anti-white people, then you need to prove to me as a white person, when you say anything, and I mean anything, because whiteness birthed this country and it was fueled by anti-blackness. You know what I'm saying? If you're not willing to do that for me, don't bother talking to me about this. This is the last time I'm gonna have this racial conversation. And I'm gonna carry on because I'm trying not to get heated. I'm trying to lead with love, and I don't feel like kicking somebody in their head, kicking their teeth in through the YouTube stream. So let's carry on with this real quick.
I appreciate everybody that comes out here. I appreciate everybody that lends their voice. But this is very important. There is a difference between hearing. Hearing is involuntary. Listening is a choice.
Yes.
If you don't want to do it for you, do it for your kids, man. Do it for your kids, man. Do it for the babies, yes.
Yes.
Come on.
Woo!
Because they're not born to hate.
No, they are not.
Damn lie. Sorry, guys, I cut. But that's a lie. Point blank, period. Let your legacy be more than money. Let your legacy, and to my black and brown people, let your legacy be more than your color. Let your legacy be led with love. Because, and I keep saying this, Jay-Z said it on his 444 album, nobody wins when the family feuds. Nobody wins when the family feuds. That's within our household, that's in our neighborhoods, that's in our towns, that's in our cities, it's in our states, it's in our countries, that's in our nations. Heaven is going to look just like this.
Yes.
We can have heaven on earth, guys. We can have heaven on earth if we make the conscious decision to lead in love.
So when I talk to people about this, and I want to kind of give people like an on ground like playback in my head of like what that day was like for me and what many moments and what I continue to be able to take a part of. I hate. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. Tyler knows, man. I hate that. I hate this. I gotta go through as an activist. I hate that. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I hate it. I hate the fact that I will look people in the eye and tell them I love them, and I really, really do. And these people will literally fling bags of piss at me and lit cigarettes at me. I hate that people recognize me from a newspaper or see my bumper sticker that says "Leaders of the Beautiful Struggle" on my bumper sticker of my car, and they will spit in my face. I've had that happen. I hate that shit. You know what I'm saying? I hate it. I hate it. It makes me so angry, bruh. It burns me up. It irritates the piss out of me. you know, I don't like that my life's in danger every time I leave the house, you know. I don't enjoy having to be super militant, you know, when I leave the house, when I go to a protest. And I don't enjoy none of that dog. But all of that to me is worth it, because I have a beautiful niece with big old brown eyes, you know what I'm saying, that don't even understand. Yo. Little girl got love for days, B. Like, you know, I see Tyler's had his nephew. He's had King Dre on here a couple of times, bro. I adopted that kid, just like I was like, you're my nephew too, by the way. I'm just letting you know, because Tyler's my brother. And I got other people that I've connected with. I got people like Queen Jessica, you know, who has has her podcast and everything. She's got kids, and I got, you know, even my white brothers and sisters, my siblings too, like they got kids. And I think to myself, like, they don't even know, like, this is taught, B. This is taught, bruh. Like, this hatred, this is taught, B. And like, it literally, like, it makes me sick, B. It makes me sick, because I think to myself, is like, these same parents that feel hate and are dishing hate out are gonna go home and teach their kids. You know what I'm saying? I want to be clear. Like, when I say this is not me trying to say, oh, there's hate on both sides, because there's a rational fear and there is an irrational fear. I'm not going to say who started it, but I know where the first shot and the first ship was fired. You know what I'm saying? But despite that, bruh, my legacy will not be money. My legacy will not be ghostthreads.com. My legacy will not be the Kid Casper podcast. My legacy will not be my name. My legacy will not be my skin tone. But my legacy, I'm gonna fight like hell. I'll fight like hell to bring heaven on earth. My legacy will be lead with love, man. If all my kids can inherit from me is money, B, and they don't know my morality clause, they don't know how that I'm gonna tell my kids about how I'll stay up on Zoom till 4:00 in the morning with their aunts and uncles around the world, B, and we just sit there and we just talk and we just love on one another and we laugh with one another. Some of the stuff we talk about is off the chain. Last night when we were talking about tornadoes and stuff, it was off the wall. It was really out of pocket. But my intention heading into every encounter, every conversation, and every word I utter, and I pray I don't stutter, is lead with love. And it's hard. It is hard. It is hard as a Black man. It is hard to live in a world that was birthed by anti-Blackness. It is hard, B. Like, this is mad. It is hard. I'm not. It is hard to know that when I wear a hoodie, even if it's raining outside, I'm a threat in this country. It is hard. But I think to myself, I think about my niece, and I think about my kids I haven't even met yet. I think about my wife I haven't even met yet. And if I met her already, please hit a nigga up, please. I mean, like, I don't know about right now, but I got a lot of things going on. But man, I mean, if I met you, I mean, hit your boy up. You know what I'm saying? If I gotta do some more work, to be ready for you. You know what I'm saying? Because I want a Proverbs 31 wife, but if I'm not Proverbs 1 through 30, maybe I still got work to do. I don't know. But if I met you yet, or I haven't met you yet, it ain't about the money. I want you to know me not from my net worth, but my self-worth. I don't want you to know me for I want you to know me for more than the give me a second to clean up the mess, Howard, my goodness. But I want you to know me. I want you to know me for how I love people, even those that treat me like crap. I be looking crazy out there, dog. People be F you, I got ghost. I hope you dot. And I'm like, I won't even say nothing. This right here, this is my gang sign, bro. You know what I'm saying? 1 Corinthians 16:14, do everything in love, or let everything you do be done in love. And I know it's confusing for people. I don't know how many times I've had conversations with many of my people, my brothers and sisters that are in and out the faith, when I tell them I am a Christian first and a black man second. And they're like, why? And I say,
can we talk about that? Can we talk about how much harder it is to be Christian first and then black man? I don't think we talk about that enough, how difficult it is as a black man in this country to be filled with so much anger, so much rage, but yet you know that the first thing you have to think about is what does God say to me? God tells us to love our enemies. Do you know how hard that is? I know you know, brother, but I'm just saying in general, like, people really don't get how hard that is to bite your tongue sometimes.
It is, yo. It is, like, for me, my thing is for me, bro, like as a disciple, like I'm more, not to say like I love my blackness, don't get twisted. I am more than a black man though. Like me being black doesn't mean I'm a good person.
Sure.
Me being black does not mean I can play basketball. I can't play basketball, and you will get blocked in the name of Jesus. But you know what I'm saying? That's not because of my blackness. It's because I'm tall and I'm good with it. You know what I'm saying? But I told myself years ago, I, as a Christian rapper, I want to be more known for being more Christian than rapper. As a Christian clothing brand owner, I want to be known for being more Christian than clothing brand. As a Christian TikToker, a Christian content creator, if my content doesn't tell you I am a Christian or that I don't love you, I'm not doing it right. That is my first commandment. That is my oath that I took.
Yep.
That is my oath. And I tell people, I'm not saying that my blackness will send me to hell, but if I forget as an individual, as a man that took an oath, as a man, regardless of my skin for a second, as a man, I took an oath to let everything I do be done in love. If I forget, it don't matter what my skin tone says, because my skin tone, yes, they might assume I'm a hoodlum. Yes, they might assume I sell drugs. Yes, they might assume that I went to jail. Yes, they might assume I play basketball. Yes, they might assume what's in my pants. For y'all that are freaking weird and dehumanize us with your fetishizing, I went there. If you don't know that I do everything in love, and let everything I do be done in love, I'm either not doing something right or you are not paying attention.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And that's not for anybody else. That's for me. You know what I'm saying? That's just for me. I don't ever go to Tyler. I don't have to. You know what I'm saying? I live by example, but I don't ever go to Tyler. Tyler, remember? Hey, black, hey, nigga, hey, bro. Remember, you a Christian first? No, that's for me. That's for me, because this world, like I said, I reside in a country in which that they tell me that they don't even have to tell me this is an anti-black society. But guess what? You know what I'm saying? Like this, bro. My black skin does not make my heart beat, and I always. Well, the heart of a man is not even what's in his chest, it's when it's in his head. How I choose to operate does not because of my black skin. It is because of how I operate in my black skin.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And that's why I tell people, and eventually I'll have somebody on here that'll give the black woman perspective, obviously, because the black woman is the most disrespected, unheard, and brutalized, dehumanized. But me speaking for myself as a black man, how hard it is for me, especially when I'm out there in the front lines in these white spaces, operating in these white evangelical spaces, talking to pastors that probably don't respect me, and their grandparents probably owned my grandparents at some point.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I got they better know I lead. They better know that I lead with love, even if I disagree with them.
Yep.
And I don't know if that this isn't even to be convicting. This is just me speaking out of my own truth. But
Yeah, it's just hard because it's like, we are black men, no matter what anybody says, and though our faith does lead our actions and the way we carry ourselves and what we say and the things we do, it's just hard because, for one, because you're black, you have a lot of white opposition. Because you're Christian, you have a lot of black opposition. Because people still think that Christianity is the white man's religion and that Jesus is white. And you have black people who are like, why would you ever be a part of something that was used to enslave your ancestors? And it's like, people just really don't get it, but at the end of the day, it's people like me and you that we have to set the example, as hard as it may be to bite our tongue sometimes, not cuss someone out, not just go and loot, you know what I mean, and cause all kinds of destruction. We know that we're fighting a bigger for a bigger cause than what is just here on earth. And at the end of the day, our ministry of Black Lives Matter, fighting against police brutality, fighting for racial reconciliation, fighting for the rights of those who are being terrorized and brutalized in this country, not just black people, but, people part of the LGBTQ community, people, Asian people, indigenous people, all that kind of stuff. The things we fight for show the love of God, because it's one thing to talk about it and say, I love people. It's another thing to show it. And at the end of the day, showing it means a lot more than just saying it. So it's the love of Christ that pushes us to fight for this thing and to fight for people and to love people no matter what. So it's difficult, but at the end of the day, Christ had to carry that cross after being tortured almost to death. You know what I mean? So if Christ had to go through some hardship, we gotta go through some hardship.
And not even that, but for me, I think of like how love literally it was like a scientific modification to my mind, and it completely changed my life. Like I like I said, I was an alcoholic by 10 years old. I experienced trauma so early, and I tried to self-medicate and try to do all these inferior things to take care of something that couldn't fix the issue, but love did. Who in the hell am I to hold that back from anybody else with what I've been through? I don't gotta I don't gotta care. Like Paul said, I'm the chief of the saint. I'm chief of the sinners. Who the hell am I to withhold any of that, bruh? You know what I'm saying? And that's why for me, I'll go hard. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna argue with people. I'm gonna just go keep it being with you. Part with leading with love for me is I'm not gonna argue with people for free. And the reason I say that is because at the same time I could be arguing with you, I could be stopping somebody for jumping off of a ledge. I could be talking to somebody that's really going through it. I could be sowing seeds of love, but instead I gotta uproot the stakes of hate that people keep intentionally and unintentionally putting around me and putting and driving into the people I care about, whether I know them or don't know them yet. So I'm not about to sit here and argue with people that are trying to slow me down if you're not paying me to do so. Because there's a heart to a broken child of God that does not feel his love. Do you understand me? There's somebody that I haven't met yet, or I have met and I haven't found out yet how I can help them. And I can't heal them, but I can show them the very thing that led me to the one that changed me. And my assignment until I die is to do that, be fruitful and multiply. If anybody gets in the way of that, I said I hate hate. And if you get in the way of that, Book of Ecclesiastes, there's a time for love and there's a time for war. And just because I got to seem a little militant in how to operate in this minefield, that don't mean I'm here to seek and that doesn't mean I'm here to seek and destroy. That means I need to be as gentle as a dove, but as wise as a serpent in this world, because I got giants to kill. I got hungry people to feed. I got brokenhearted people to love. I got disabled people that need me to be able-bodied for them. And if I can't reach them, I am to provoke the person that can. Whatever that is, whatever that looks like, whatever it takes. I don't care if you make me a hashtag. I don't care if you make me a hashtag. I don't care what you say about me. I don't care what you say about what I've been through. I don't care what you could throw at me. I don't care what you could do, even what you do to the people I love and I care about. My legacy will be love. At the end of the day, I'm not going to argue with people and I explain myself any further to why that is. Because if it wasn't for love, damn it, I wouldn't be here. I'd be in a bottle somewhere. I'd be in a ditch somewhere. I'd probably be dead. So when I say like lead with love or we're gonna kill each other, because in my eyes, if you're not willing to administer the medicine, you are halting the healing and you are expediting the death. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Thank you for being respectful in the comment section. Thank you for any time in which you checked in on this. Always remember you are beautiful, blessed, and beloved. I love you. I love that I love you. There's nothing you could do about it. Raisins still don't go on potato salad. Mayonnaise don't go on peas. I said it, Key. And Jesus wasn't white.